This is chapter 7 and it is about safer driving. How can I drive safely when I am working as a London PHV driver? Previously we have seen chapter number 6 was all about parking and driving in London, and they have clearly mentioned that it does not replace the requirement for a driver to know the highway code. Okay, so we're going to touch upon some of the highway code in this chapter. Okay, so let's see what TfL is saying. It's saying, as a PHP driver, we should have a careful watch on the road when I am working, yeah, at all times, and be able to interact. What does interaction mean? That you and me now talking, we're talking to the class. This is an interaction between the teacher and the students, yeah. Similarly, when we drive on the road, what will happening? The interaction happening between the vehicles, yeah, and all other road users. Cyclists, I'm interacting, motorcyclists, buses, lorries, pedestrians, yeah. All these people I'm interacting with, and it must be what? Safe. Especially those are in the category of vulnerable. Those are weak or prone to harm, yeah. So such as pedestrian, cyclists, and motorcyclists. Long explanation will come, yeah. So this section is about how to maintain the highest standard of driving, as well as more advice on driving safely. It is on the TfL website, is also available if somebody wants to explore even more or any further than this. Okay, now first thing is to obey the law. First thing is to obey the law. As a PHP driver, you are expected to be fully aware and obey the highway code. Highway code. As a driver, it's not only for a PHP driver, is any driver. As a PHP driver, you need to know the highway code and obey. Obey the highway code, and that which includes the rules of the road. Any behavior that will cause any danger to you, your passenger, and other road user should be completely avoided. Completely avoided. What TfL is saying is that most collisions, the most accident that happens in London is by a small number of easy to avoid behavior. That means something I can avoid. Yeah, something I cannot do. For example, if a person is working early in the morning, then they know they need to wake up early, right? Now, if you go to sleep at 1 o'clock for doing nothing, what are you doing it? Now you're making your life difficult. But this is something you could have easily avoided just by going to bed early. So similarly, in terms of driving on the road, there is some behavior we can easily avoid. Because we don't avoid them, most of the collisions that happens in London. What are they? Speeding or driving too fast for the condition. Yeah, the condition does require me to drive in a certain speed limit, but I am adamant and I want to drive quite fast. One. Number two is making dangerous maneuvers. Explanation will come. A movement of car is known as maneuver. If I'm moving from one position to even changing lane is a maneuver as well. So if that is dangerous, that also responsible for most of the collisions. Distraction is another one, and also not following the rules of the road. A detailed explanation is to follow in this section as a professional driver, and you need to think about the topics that we're going to talk about. Now, first one is speeding. First one is all about speeding. So what they're saying is your speed limit should be within the driving should be within the speed limits, and one that is appropriate for the situation. Whatever situation I'm in, for example, that could be anything. For example, I have a big fight with my wife. This may not happen. Big fight, I'm quite angry, upset, whatever, and I'm driving now. What fight? That one. Environment. What environment I'm in? What's going on? No, that's where the condition. Environment is the environment I'm in now. What surrounding area? What's going on? Maybe there is a rally going on. Yes, there is going on. There is a protest going on. I need to adjust my speed, and also weather condition, as you said, raining, snowing, or whatever situation I'm in, my speed should be accordingly. Important point is next one. There's a few important points in the next line that we need to remember for our exam, which are the faster you drive, will you have more time or less time? less time to avoid a collision, to do something to avoid a collision, because the faster you drive, you have less control. One, and also the resulting injuries will become more serious or less serious. More serious, because the more speed you hit somebody, it becomes serious. That's why in the London roads now, in most other cities as well, speed limit is going down to 20 at the moment, because the slower the vehicle is, the less impact it has on the injury. Now, maneuvers that we have talked about. Remember, when we took our driving lesson, something we have to remember: MSM, mirror, signal, maneuvers. Mirror, signal, maneuvers. So what they're saying is, I need to think about the maneuvers I make. I need to always think about the maneuvers I am making, and I need to make sure they are safe. This includes, like, for example, looking carefully when pulling out of junction. You're on a junction, you're coming out of the junction, you need to look carefully all over. If you're turning across traffic, imagine there's a traffic flowing from both sides, you're turning across, you're trying to go to the other side. Again, it's a very dangerous movement, but you need to be very careful. And also, when we are passing cyclists and motorcyclists, so this is where I need to be very much extra careful about it. Now, careless or dangerous driving is a serious offense with heavy penalties. Your question could be like, if you drive carelessly or dangerously, what could that result in? For example, it could result in an offense with heavy penalties, or other way, because they're twisting the questions and answer around these days. So, because we need to understand, rephrase them, and understand is many different ways. Now we look at concentration. Some of the things will be repeated quite a few times on the chapter, so some of them will avoid them. We'll skip them, not avoid. That skip is the right one. So now what they're saying, I need to be focused. I need to be focused on the road. Given an example, if you have your wife with you, okay, and you say to her, I love you, and at the same time you look at another woman, what happens? What happens? Yeah, you will get trouble, isn't it? So similarly, our focus would be on the road, and we should be able to react very much quickly. Yeah. So I should not be getting distracted by my phone, any other devices, or music or passengers. Something amazing that was seen when Uber started operating in London. I used to see, I don't know if you have seen, drivers have many devices on the phone, yeah. And then when new companies started coming in, some of them gone already. So drivers used to have 4 or 5 phones. One for personal, one for Uber, one for example, Bolt, one for Free Now, one for another company. That was quite amazing. So this is something we cannot be distracted. Some people talk so much, they're trying to be polite. What they do, they drive, they look back out of politeness. So this cannot be done. So we should not, end point is, I should not be getting distracted by phones, other electronic devices, or music or passengers. Also, there's 3 things I need you to remember. One is, if you can repeat after me: stop safely, park, and engine off. Engine off. So why I need to do this? If you are to receive or make a phone call, if you are to receive or make a phone call, these 3 has to be done. What are they? Stop safely, park your vehicle, and engine off. So these are the 3 things we need to do when we make or receive a phone call. Now, distraction cue, obviously, is very much a common sense. If you are distracted with any of the things that we've been mentioned, it will make me less aware of what is happening on the road, and also my judgment ability, my ability to judge a situation, it is reduced, it is lessened. Now, very important point, this one is coming. It is completely illegal to hold a phone in our hand, as it's shown in the picture. I cannot hold a phone in my hand when I'm driving. I cannot hold a phone in my hand while I'm driving. Even if I stop at a traffic light, even if I'm stopped due to traffic light, or due to traffic I'm stopped, I cannot take my phone in hand. Now, there's only one exception. How many exceptions? One. If I'm calling the emergency services in an emergency situation, and it is impractical and unsafe for me to stop. For example, if you are driving on a motorway and there is no hard shoulder, there's some places in the motorway there is no hard shoulder, right? And then your passenger is seriously ill, or any other emergency situation, this is the situation you can call the emergency services. You can hold the phone in hand. Otherwise, no other situation you can take your phone in hand. Okay, so now You tell me, it's a very much of a common sense. If someone is under the influence of drug or alcohol, should they drive? No. And police do what? The test for this drug and alcohol use at the roadside to catch those who decides to break the law. Who decides to break the law. Now, if you are taking prescription medication, and you want to find out if it is affecting your ability to drive, who should you ask?
You should ask your doctor.
Amazing. But some people answer TfL.
No, doctor.
This is the doctor is the answer, that we should be asking our doctor if it is safe for me to drive or not. Now, there is a requirement of the law that requires you to do some checks, yeah, before even if you start your journey. For example, the requirement that you have to have insurance, a valid MOT, and you have a driving license, you wear a seat belt and do not drive a faulty vehicle. But these are some of them, these are examples, but it is not limited to it. There are more to it. Okay? So now, the maintenance of the vehicle should be to the required standards, not to my standards. There is a benchmark by DVLA. I should maintain my vehicle according to their standard. Okay? So now, very important point coming up, and I would like you to fully concentrate and understand this regarding seat belts, regarding passengers wearing seat belt. Okay, we all understand that all passenger must use a seat belt. We understand that. No issues there, right?
Yeah.
My question to you, all adults wear a seat belt. We understand that. So my question to you is, are you responsible for making sure the adults putting on seat belt? Who's responsible as a PHP driver? Is it your responsibility?
It's their responsibility.
It is fantastic. But what can you do? What can you do?
You can assist them if you want to.
You can encourage them.
You can encourage them if you want to.
What is, you can encourage them. As TfL is saying, all adults must wear a seat belt and driver should encourage them.
Okay.
You can encourage adult passenger to wear a seat belt for their own safety. That one. Next point is critically important. That is, now the driver responsible. Driver is responsible for making sure that all children under the age of all children are correctly seated and restrained. Not only seated, they also restrained. They remain in their place. Okay, that's one. Now, question to you is, obviously we understand it's the driver's responsibility to making sure that all children under the age of 14 either wear a seat belt or they sit on an approved car seat. Now, if there is a requirement for a child to wear a seat belt, they cannot travel in a normal car without a child car seat. Now, as a PHB, you don't have a car seat available and you have a children in your car. Are you able to take them? Are you allowed to take them? You got the point?
Yeah.
Someone is under the 14 over age, you don't have a car seat available. Are you allowed to take them?
Yeah, you can take them.
Fantastic. But what are the conditions?
A condition in moving an adult putting the seatbelt on.
Condition is number one. Number one condition is they cannot sit in the front.
They can't sit over there.
That's number one condition, yeah. And then they need to sit in the back seat, rear seat, and wear an adult seat belt if they're 3 or above. And if they're below 3, what they should do? They should travel without a seat belt. So it's clear now, yeah?
3 years old.
Yeah. Under 3 without a seat belt and the rear seat over 3. This is very critical point. Everything related to seat belt. This is the information you need to remember. So whichever way the question comes, you can answer them. And also obviously, as they keep on repeating, the police keep a close watch on the London roads 24 hours a day and will identify drivers who choose to break the law. And also, if you fail to obey any of the above rules, you may get a fixed penalty notice or be prosecuted. Means you can end up being in the court, and this can result in a fine and penalty points on your driver license. It may also result in you being banned from driving, and you could also lose your PHV driver's license. Now, the most vulnerable groups: pedestrian, cyclist, and motorcyclist. And you need to be aware of their other road users, especially those three that I have mentioned. Pedestrian, what happens? They can suddenly step into the road, and we do the same as well. When we cross the road, we do the same as well. So, and also on the side roads, I need to give away to the pedestrians. Cyclists, few points to remember here. One, when you need to be at all time, you need to be careful about be aware of the cyclists all the time, especially when you are turning. Especially whichever way, left or right, you are turning, you need to be very careful of any cyclist coming from behind or not. Slow moving traffic, because if the traffic is slow moving, then everyone else is stopped, but they are moving. They're moving. They're moving. And then also, when you are pulling away from the traffic lights, when you're going away from the traffic light, these are the situation I need to be aware of them. Also, make sure you give cyclists enough room. One question is that option is there. Make sure you give yourself enough room. That's the wrong answer. Because if I give myself enough room, that means I may be squeezing the cyclist. So this is why I need to give cyclist enough room. Cyclist enough room when we overtake them. Good. And you should ask your passenger to check before they open their door, and you should do the same. So making sure that there is no cyclist coming here. I've done this morning actually, and it was really useful. Yesterday, sorry. And when I looked over my shoulder, the motorbike was just next to me, like yesterday afternoon. So it's very useful that we look over our shoulder for them. And motorcyclists especially, we need to be aware of them, especially at all times when you are turning or in slow moving traffic, because motorcycle can drive between the cars and they can come close to you. Now it's about windscreen vision. So Annex 6 of the Highway Code says that, which deals with vehicle maintenance, that windscreen must be kept clean. Our windscreen must be kept clean, and it must be free from all kind of obstruction to vision. This means that you should not put or fix anything into your windscreen that will stop you being able to see the road ahead. This includes mobile phones, sat navs, and other devices that will reduce your vision. So these pictures that we can see on the screens have been taken by who? The police of London, yeah. And you can clearly see that it has blocked the view of the driver, right? For example, first picture that we can see, a whole person has went behind a device, yeah? I don't even know what this is. It's not very clear here. This one is half of a person. No, it's a phone, I understand, but what it has hidden, we don't know. This is a half of the cyclist is gone. Almost a car is gone. So this is something, the photos have been taken by the London police, and this is something, this kind of behavior should be completely and absolutely avoided. Now, cradle careful, yeah? Something that we put on our or hang. This is a cradle device. So again, what they're saying, they're repeating the same thing. Before you start a journey, Murad bhai, before you start a journey, you should make sure you have a clear view through the windscreen and windows of your vehicle, and that no device signage reduce and obstruct your view. Yeah, this is something they will keep on it. Now, point is this one. Important point to remember is the next one. This is the area on the picture is called the swept area. What is it called here? Swept area. And this is the area that is covered by my windscreen wiper. This is area covered by my windscreen wiper. If I put any devices in that area, what I'm doing, I'm committing an offense. They're not saying may. You're 100% committing an offense. And if you are prosecuted, if you are taken to the court, what will happen? You may be fined and get penalty point in your driving license. Okay, so this area must be kept free, and we cannot put any devices whatsoever in this area. Now, what should I do? The driving condition doesn't remain the same, does it? No. It can change anytime. It's sunny, it can be raining, there can be a snow, and many other things can happen. So what I need to do, like for example, dangerous pedestrian can step in front of me, bikes can come out of the side road, means I need to have a clear view of the road. At the same time, if your windscreen is covered in devices, your chances of getting distracted increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. And also, you're not going to see the danger in time to avoid them as well. You must make sure that you put any devices in position that do not reduce how much you can see. you can see. Okay. Now, effect of effect of effect of tiredness. Effect of tiredness. Same as what? Same as drinking alcohol. Same as drinking alcohol, isn't it? The effect of tiredness on a person is same as drinking alcohol, can result in death or serious injury. So what TfL is advising that I should plan my day well in advance and also have regular breaks. If I am already tired, should not start the journey. For example, whole day I was busy with family. For example, Muslims celebrate Eid. On that day, demand is very high. So you have celebrated Eid whole day, and the night time you have seen is gone really busy, is gone red, is increasing, surging. Yeah. Now you take a short coffee and come out and drive. It is not advisable because you are already tired, and you should not be beginning your journey when you are already tired. Yeah. Now weather condition can change anytime, and my driving behavior also change accordingly. Yeah, accordingly. So my driving is always safe. For example, if it suddenly start to rain or there is a thick fog, reduce your speed. And even although they haven't mentioned yet, if there is a snow as well, these are the situation my speed should be reduced. I should be reducing my speed. Night time when I am driving, I need to be extra careful, especially pedestrian, cyclists and motorcyclists may be more difficult to see them. Pedestrian, motorcyclists more difficult to see. Okay. Now, cycle safety, very important. Few of the very important point going to come. PHV driver spend a lot of time compared to a normal car. The time the PHV driver spend on the road is more. Of course, a shift somebody works 8-9 hours. A normal person probably will go whatever much time they drive, but the PHV driver would spend a lot more time than compared to a normal driver on the road, and they're almost twice likely compared to another car, normal car. They're almost twice as likely. This point to note: twice as likely to private car drivers to be involved in a collision that result in a death or a serious injury of a cyclist. Because of this, you need to do what? Some advice will be given in the next slide, and we should be follow the advice and make sure everyone is traveling safely. So what are the advice? You should always check for cyclists, pedestrian, motorcyclists who may be moving. Even most vehicles are stopped in traffic, that we have said. Even everything is stand still, but maybe cyclists, motorcyclists, they're always in the move. Second point is look out for cyclists, especially when checking your mirrors before indicating to go left or right, yeah, or changing your. These are very common sense things. And checking over your shoulder for cyclists and other road users before opening the shoulder, doesn't swing in front of somebody. Okay. And also our indicator should be used for turning or changing lanes. Even if I don't see anyone in there, even if the road is empty, I should be using my indicator, and my indicator should be well in advance, not last minute. Not last minute, should be well in advance to allow others to react. So other you to react, and also make sure that your indicator is off once you have completed your maneuver. You have done the maneuver, you are turning left, right, or whatever you need to do, you have done it. You should switch your indicator off so you are not confusing other people. Also, you need to keep a safe distance from the cyclist. Our distance from the cyclist should be safe, and we should not be trying to overtake them when there is not enough space. How much space should I give to a cyclist?
Enough space
What is that enough space?
for another car.
Yes. Whatever space I give to another car, I should give the same space to a cyclist. If the cyclist is using the middle of the lane, I should be beeping home from behind, isn't it?
No.
What should I do?
Be patient enough.
I should be patiently waiting until I can pass them safely. So this box that we can see here, it's called advanced stop box. Yeah. When the traffic light is red, I cannot enter this box. If I do so, I'm committing an offense. Okay. I should not be entering this box when the traffic light is red. We're almost done now. So there is a few things to check in 4 parts of the car. First one is the driver's compartment. What it should be? It should be, as a professional driver, you are responsible for checking your vehicle is safe and legal to drive. For example, the driver's compartment should check that the horn works. Other things you need to check are included seat belts. Your seat belts and are in good condition, are secure, and you can adjust them as you need them. The steering wheel is secure and in good condition. The clutch and brake pedal helps. Those anti-slip cover, that rubber cover they put on. The handbrake is in good working condition. Driving warning lights does not light up when the engine is started. When you turn the ignition on, what happens is all the warning lights come up. But when you start the engine, it should switch off. It should switch off. The indicators are working correctly, and also windscreen washers and wipers are in good condition, as well as any devices for opening or closing the drivers and the front passenger windows are working correctly, and also you can see all the mirrors. These are the things that I need to see as part of my check, as part of my what? Driver's compartment. Is this compartment, yeah? I need to make sure they are working. Now, when you're, same thing I need to do for the passenger compartment as well. Why need to make sure that all equipment must be in good working order, right? And the area must be also clean, such as the seat belt fitted to the passenger seats. Okay, so now what are the other things included? Upholstery, that covering on the seat, headlining the top of the carpets, and also the door trims, they're in good condition. Passenger courtesy lights, so the passenger can use it as they need it. If you're driving a wheelchair accessible vehicle, then wheelchair safety belts and seat belts are in good working order, and also all door and door locking mechanisms are in good working order, and vehicle heater system is working. Also, no smoking sign is there, and also if the CCTV sign is displayed in a prominent position, if your vehicle has a CCTV camera installed or fitted to the vehicle. Yeah. Now, some wheels and tires. Now, your tires must be what? Correct size, speed, and weight rating for the make and model of the vehicle. You should make sure that all wheel nuts are in place and secure. One of our students has said he's driven 10 miles, then he realized that his nut was loose. Yeah, the car was shaking. So this should not be happening. It must be secure. Okay. Now, tire must be free from what? Cut. This is called a cut. Lumps. This is like lumps, bulges. Yeah. So this is something we should not have on our tire. And so TS, obviously you understand, TS should not be there. Second thing is excessive or uneven tire wear. There should not be excessive or uneven. One side is okay, other side is where so much and is too much of or uneven. This should not happen. Excessive damage to the wheel rim. And also tire wear bar indicator. This is where in the picture, this is called tire wear bar indicators. Position around the tire. If the thread pattern has worn down to the level of the indicators, then you must replace the tire. You should be replacing tire immediately. Now outside the body panel, yeah, make sure that there is no sign of fluid, especially when you drive off, leaking from under the vehicle on the ground. So if you moved on, so there should be no liquid on the floor. You should also check that all external lights and reflectors are there and secure, undamaged, and working. So we understand the lights. What is the reflector?
Indicators.
No. Reflector is a piece of plastic normally fitted in the bumper of the car. It doesn't have not its own light. When the night time, especially when the light of another car puts on it, then it lights up. Yeah, it's reflects. That's why it's called a reflector. So all things should be secure, undamaged, and working. Also, body panels have not been built. Look at this body panels, the white car. It is repaired, but it's badly repaired. Yeah. And also your body panels should not have the evidence of any excessive damage like this one. So you should not be using as a PHB if this is the case. And also there is no serious rusting resulting in sharp edges. So again, this also cannot happen with the car. All windows are clean, undamaged, and free from unapproved signage or advertising material.
No way.
Yeah? Yeah, we cannot. It has to be approved. So that's it really. So if you have understood, you can now check your understanding using our website, serumocktest.co.uk. You can purchase a mock test or the chapter question, the particular chapter you have studied now. You can purchase them and then practice it. Also, if you rather like to come to our training center, we have a fully computer-based facility where you can come and join our training session. We currently have, last few months, we have about 90% plus pass rate at the moment. If you like this video, make sure to share with somebody, make a comment, and do subscribe to our channel to keep yourself up to date with all these new videos we are